Hi, it's Sandy Parker and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. I bought the Stamp Perfect and I promised I was going to do a review on it, but I wanted to do not only a review but something more important, and that is how do you set up a stamp tool if you've got one for the first time. I have done one with my MISTI, but I wanted this one to be one where you don't have to buy anything if I can avoid it. So that's my plan, other than washi tape and maybe baby wipes if you don't have baby wipes. So with that being said, let me get into what you get when you get the Stamp Perfect. You get the machine. Well, it's a, I guess we'll call it a machine. It is like a box that has this piece of foam in it, and your magnets come underneath. They'll show up under here. Now, I've already put washi tape on my magnets. It's really important that you put washi tape on your magnets, and here's the reasons why. I have had these magnets, not these, from the MISTI. I've had my magnets smack together and virtually explode, where shards of it have hit me and they're sharp. I don't want that to happen to you, and since I've put washi tape on mine, I have not had that problem. Although they do still smack together, at least if they break, they do not hurt you. So see how they do that? They're very, very strong magnets, and that's another reason the washi tape helps you to pull them apart. Keep them as far away from each other as possible. So inside this is a grid that is underneath your piece of foam. You only use the foam if you're using acrylic stamps, which are the clear stamps. If you're using one of these type stamps, you'll take the foam out and you'll just adhere it to the lid. So let me show you the difference. I'll just put one of these on so you can see it, and then I'll show you with the acrylics. Here's something else I learned. If you ever buy these Stampendous cling stamps, they have this weird plastic sheeting right here. Do you see that? I don't know if you can. See that? That needs to stay on there. I don't know why, but that's what adheres it to the door. So if you're going to be stamping with a big thick red rubber stamp, that's how you do it. You just put it in, foam out, this in. Okay? If you're going to use an acrylic stamp, which is a clear stamp, like I'll get a bigger one here, like one of these, you're going to want to make sure you put the foam in, because the foam adds the thickness that these stamps lack. And I'm just going to put a teeny, I'm not a big one on, but I want to show you this, because there's a couple things I want to make sure I explain about this as well. Okay, so if you're going to be using one of these stamps, you're going to put your foam back in, okay, and then you'll stamp from there. Now, let's say that you are stamping a sentiment and you want to make sure it's really lined up well. The first thing I will tell you is I think it's important that you have a grid sheet in here that you can put on top of your foam so that you can really lay it in your project where you want it and know where things are. So I wanted you to be able to do that at no cost to you. Here's how you do it. First of all, when you bought that stamp set I just lost it already. When you bought the big flower stamp set from Stampendous, I'm trying to find it. Here it is. It comes with these pieces of acetate. You get bigger pieces with other things, but this is what you're going to want, is something like this, and get it big enough. It has to be 5.5 inches by 7 inches for this to work. So you're going to want a piece of clear plastic. If you don't have that, then you can buy from like a Staples. You can ask them for one clear piece of acetate and they would sell it to you for, I don't know, maybe a quarter. It's very inexpensive. I used overhead projector clear plastic from the 70s that I bought at a garage sale, and I went to this website. It's www waterproofpaper.com. And they will let you print out grid sheets for free. So what I did was I went to that site and I printed out 4 of them. And I only needed 2, but I wanted to have some extras. And then all I did was I took that plastic and I stuck it to the top of it. So now I have one that it will protect everything inside. Like, I'm going to put that one underneath my foam because I like 1/4 inch. Oh, and that's the size I use, is the 1/4 inch grid. So you're going to put the grid inside, and then that piece is good and secure. The thing I like about it is, let's say you're stamping and you get ink on something, you're not going to have to worry about it because all you have to do is wipe it off. Because it's adhered to the paper, you won't have any issues at all with wiping it off. I use it all the time in my MISTI. If you ever watch any of my videos, and I will link my video of how I did something similar to this setup to my MISTI. Okay, so you have your magnets are done. You put washi tape on those. Put 2 layers of washi tape on that. Then I saw Christina Warner do this, and I thought this is a good idea. She put 2 pieces on her door. Well, she put masking tape on there, the painter's tape, but I'm putting 2 pieces of washi tape. It's just coincidental that it matched. I just grabbed the first roll I got to, and it matched. So that's where we stand. Now, when I got my Stamp Perfect, I had this problem. Do you see the gap in the door? There's a big gap. I have been stalling on this video because I've been waiting to hear back from them. This should not be the case. This door should close flat, and it doesn't. So I contacted the company, and they are going to replace mine. But I wanted to make sure you heard that first before I did this video. It's important to me that I find out if they have a good level of customer service, and they do. And I wanted to make sure, again, before I did this video, that I, crossed my T's and dotted my I's, and we know for sure that they will stand behind their product. Now, sometimes people have had their doors squeak, and if you have a squeaky door, I saw a video, and I don't remember who showed this. I apologize, but they just squirted Pam, your vegetable spray, on the hinges. They put paper towels on either side, and they just squirted the Pam on there. Now, the reason that it's important that you use Pam is you can't use anything that's got like a Vaseline in it, a petroleum product. So make sure that if you do this, you use the Pam, because that is something we all have around the house, or most of us have around the house. And put paper towels on both sides. You squirt it into the groove. Make sure you have paper towel underneath so that it doesn't get all over the place underneath. Then close the door and then spray it on the outside. Same thing, put paper towel on either side to make sure that you don't get any of that on you or your tool in the end, because your goal here is that you don't have any squeak. Okay, if you're left-handed like I am, you want your door to go this direction. This has always been problematic for me with the MISTI, because I'm going to grab my MISTI. The MISTI is set up so that the numbers on it go from 1 to 8 in this direction. Well, you have to flip it around in order for me to be able to use it. So what I did is instead I don't know if you can see these, but I made my 1-inch marks all the way up on the left side, so I can tell, like where I'm at on my MISTI compared to the reverse. This bar magnet is something Jennifer McGuire got. I will tell you, these are so strong that even with washi tape, the washi tape just tore off of mine, and I've had a really hard time moving this around. If you have hand or wrist issues, I don't recommend this bar. But if you do want it, I'll link below in the information all of this, but I will make sure I put the site on eBay that I bought that from, and it's also available on Amazon, but I know I bought mine from eBay, and it was like $6 or maybe $7. My MISTI is set up so that it's got the same, like I said, the same setup. I've got the grid paper inside, and I made it so that it was for a left-handed person. Let me go back to the Stamp Perfect, because if you want to know about the MISTI, go to my MISTI video and I show you all the setup for that. Let's talk about how we're going to make our grid paper. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to take your grid paper and set it inside. I'm going to take the foam out. Foam at this point is no help. You're going to cut it to 5.5 inches by 7 inches. Maybe it's 7.5. That's 7.5. I apologize. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get your acetates, same size. You're going to cut it to the same size. My friend Carol Held did a video where she used one of those, what's it called, little bee, I don't know, I'll show it to you. It came like this. I don't know if you can see it on my board. It was something that you attached to things so that you would be easily, it's just this plastic piece. It attaches so that you can see where an A2 size card is and where a 5.5 by 7 inch card would be cut. And Carol did a really nice video showing how to set that little bee thing up in hers. I wanted to make my grid sheet work like the little bee, so what I decided to do is I'm going to take an A2 size card, which is this. It's 4 1/4 by 5.5. I normally stamp my cards like this, side fold. If you do yours up and down like this, then you'll probably want to put your make your marks differently than I'm going to. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take some washi tape and I'm going to put it underneath. I'm going to turn this so that I can see it better. I'm going to put it underneath the plastic. I don't want my plastic to have washi tape on top of it, so the best way to avoid it is you're going to just put this, oops, I put it in upside down. Because of the way the grids are cut, I found that only one side of the grid has a full square on it, so you want to make sure that your full square is at the bottom because that's where you want your measurement to be straight. See how at the top I don't have a complete row bar? You know, this doesn't have a box up at the top. You don't want that, so make sure that the very bottom is a complete box. Then you're going to put your card in like that, so that you can do this just with a ruler, but I thought it'd be easier just to put my card in here. And then what I'm going to do is, keeping my paper in place, I'm going to put this right up. So that is going to be an A2 size card. So anytime I need to put one in, I will know, like, it doesn't matter for putting the card in. What matters is when you are thinking about your sentiment, this is going to show you kind of where on your paper your sentiment would lie. The other size card that I make the most of are 5 by 7s. So here's my 5 by 7 card. I'm going to put that in. And we're going to do the exact same thing. Then all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my marker. Carol gave me this idea too. I'm going to put on this A2 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. This is not for me. This is for when you are watching my videos. I'm going to say 7 by 5 inch because it's 7 inches tall. Now all I have to do is take my plastic again. I'm going to wrap that around the back. Take my plastic and I'm going to put a little bit of tape runner on my paper, so it's in places that doesn't really show. Come on. And then because I left it in here, I think it works a lot better when I did the last one, it really helped me to have it inside the Stamp Perfect. I've got a little dot there that I don't really love. And then I just lined it up. And if once you get your plastic on there, you say, oh geez, my plastic is crooked, just trim it off. It doesn't, it's not crucial that your plastic has to be, like right here, my top edge, my plastic is a little bit crooked, so I'm just going to cut it off. Because your plastic is really just there as a protectant. So now I have a tool that I know exactly what side, where my sentiment would be. Okay, this is how it works. Like, let's say you want to put a sentiment in the center of this card. Now you know exactly where your A2 size card is. So if you want it centered in the card, you would put it in that part of the Stamp Perfect. I hope that made sense. Geez, these match too. Okay. Man, I'm on a matchy spree. So we'll put our foam back in. This time we'll take one of our plastic pieces, we'll put it on top of our foam. We've got our magnets. Now our unit is ready to go. So let's say that you get a smudge or some kind of mark on your Stamp Perfect and you don't know how to clean it. Here are my recommendations. First, start with just a spray bottle of water. This is just a distress sprayer. Carol had lost hers. Carol, it's here in Pennsylvania. Anyway, you just spray the door lightly, use a nice soft cloth, wipe it off, you're good to go. If that doesn't get it off, then you can go to Plan B. Plan B would be baby wipes. If the baby wipe doesn't take it off, then this is what the MISTI people recommend. It's called Novus 1. The 1 is important because there's different numbers, and this is for plastic. And this is a clean and shine. It's anti-fog, it's anti-static, it's a dust repellent, and you can use it on all kinds of things, but but it works good for taking marks off of your Stamp Perfect if you have to resort to that. I have only used the Novus on my MISTI maybe twice, and I've had my MISTI almost 2 years. So I don't know that you'll need this necessarily, but if you use a lot of StazOn, you might. So this would be something for your arsenal if you're into StazOn. Otherwise, I would stick to plain water and baby wipes and a nice soft cloth. So lastly, the thing I wanted to show you, I got my backing put on it. Here is my grid sheet, and I put some fun washi on the back of it. And here's what you would do. I put these stamps in here so you could kind of see in relationship to the stamp set how you would do this. You're going to put the grid up against the wall like that, and you're going to put your magnet that's fighting me as usual. You're going to put your magnet over it. Then all you need to do is you get your stamp that you want to say hello. You put that down. You know that you've got that in the right spot, and we'll whap that thing right there. And when you stamp, then it's ready to go. I bought 2 of these magnets. You'll laugh at this. I bought one and forgot I bought it, and then I bought another one. So I do have 2 of these, and I put 4 layers of washi tape on this. I figured I would try that and let you guys know if 4 layers of washi tape makes enough of a difference to hold it in place, but it is a bugger. Once you get that thing situated, you can't get it back off. The reason I bought the Stamp Perfect was twofold. I wanted to make sure that I could use the door on it because the door on the MISTI is too thick for me to push it and get a good impression. And I have had better success. If you've watched my recent videos, I've been using it, and I have had better success with that. And the second reason was this is a much less expensive tool than the MISTI. The MISTI, with all of the bells and whistles, you know, the magnets and the pads and the things you get with it, it's almost $100. So, and that's for a little bit bigger version than this. I think it starts out at $60 plus shipping plus the magnets, etc. Anyway, this unit is $25 at Michael's and Joann's. Joann's has, I saw next week, they have 40% off next week on the Stamp Perfect. So, you should be able to get this for $15 or less. And then everything I've done to it is really nominal in price, if any. If you have washi tape, there's no cost. The magnets come with it, so you wouldn't have any cost involved in there. The grid sheets you're going to print out from www.waterproofpaper.com, and I'll link that down below. I really wanted to make sure I did this video because I have not seen enough of a difference to make this not worth the price. I think you should consider this if you can afford one, because so far I have really found it to be very effective. And I have one of my viewers who used it on, I think it was 150 cards, and she double stamped on everything and she had no problems whatsoever. So that tells me that it's got longevity as well. I don't have that kind of experience with it to tell you that, but because she did and I trust her, I mean, that's another thing to consider, that it did hold up over time and that, you know, nothing broke, everything was sustainable. It's, you know, in great condition, and she really enjoyed using it. With that being said, I do think that for someone who has wrist or hand issues, these tools are almost imperative. And I told the people from Hampton Arts that I really need this to work, because I want the people on this channel to be able to go here and know that I'm telling them that this will work for them. And if they have any issues, they can contact Hampton Arts and they will take care of it. And they have assured me that they will, other than the squeak. And I told you that I'll link that video down below when I find it, of the person that shows you how to put Pam on the joints or on the hinges. And again, it does work fine for me. I do recommend it. I think that you should get this and not worry about it. If you do have the problem that I have, where my door is warped like this, this is what my door looks like. You see that gap? That's what mine looks like. I'm getting a new one because of that, but that's, even with everything taken out except for the magnets, it is that open. So with all of that being said, I do recommend this product, and I hope that you will consider getting one if it's in your budget. I have one more thing I wanted to tell you that I know I've never really said before, and that is, if you didn't know this, I always write everything in the notes below. I mean everything. You can walk step by step through a project from my information below. And with that, my friend Carol Held and I are doing a collaboration video, and in that video we're both using the same Jennifer McGuire technique, and we found a technique that we felt was simple enough that Carol would be able to do sign language to it. So for our hearing impaired viewers, and I hope that if you know someone who's hearing impaired, you'll tell them about this, that Carol will be doing sign language, and on my channel you can always read all of the information in the body of that comments below. So you have both of those options, and of course they have the closed captioning, but I know that that's a little bit iffy, that sometimes that it reads words improperly. So that's why I always type everything up in the information below. If you ever see anything that I miss in the information below, please let me know, because I would hate to miss something that's important. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll give this a thumbs up and subscribe. And please, if you're looking for one of these, don't pay more than $15 for one. Really, I think that you should be able to find it at one of the big box stores for $15 or less. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.